But there are many solutions, Madam Speaker. I was just at the Canadian Mental Health Association. They had their advocacy week, and I actually frequent them very often on many different occasions. But Katrina Kiefer, the president, CEO of the local CMHA branch in Port-Alberni, took me on a tour of some of their non-market housing units, and they had low to medium barrier housing. And the changes in the lives of the people that were in their housing, it was transformational. It gave them all a fighting chance. Many had come out of really difficult circumstances. Some were there for reprieve from situations at home or fleeing abuse. Some actually were coming out of were in recovery from substance abuse issues, Madam Speaker, and making sure that they had housing gave them the ability to connect with the important supports that they needed, the mental health supports, the physicians, and the support from the health sector as they were on their journey. And Madam Speaker, this is something that we know works, but I can tell you what doesn't work. The free market will not solve an affordable housing crisis, and I can't find anywhere in the world where an affordable housing crisis has been fixed by the free market. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. And in this budget, the Liberals completely missed the mark, and the Conservatives before them. So they keep pushing this problem down the road. Now, Madam Speaker, I very much support immigration, people coming to our country, and I know there's goals to expand immigration to 500,000 people a year for the next 3 years. I support that wholeheartedly. But Madam Speaker, we need to ensure that there's housing for them to come and be able to find a place to live. And we need to make sure that they can get to work, that we improve our transportation services, and that we ensure that they can get access to a doctor. But there is no cohesive plan. The rapid housing initiative that the Liberals have rolled out is just so small in scale, Madam Speaker. The 6,500 units they put on the table when it comes to co-op housing doesn't even make a dent of the lost 500,000 units that they didn't build, Conservative and Liberal governments alike over the last 30 years. And, Madam Speaker, the continued corporatization of housing in our country, that they're allowing these REITs to be able to get a tax benefit that normal Canadians don't get, and they're increasing their share of the overall ownership of housing in this country. The Liberals need to put a stop to this, Madam Speaker. We cannot commodify everything in this country. I was just at Mom Stop the Harm hosted an event for the thousands of people that have died from the toxic drug crisis in Parksville. I was able to join them, and I really appreciate Jane McCormick, the bereaved mother of Jeffrey, who lost her loved one, for her courage in organizing that event, and all the moms that showed up, and fathers and family members of those with courage. But I also met some young folks from Risebridge that are trying to address the homeless issue on the ground level. And what they're seeing is the federal government download to provinces, provinces download to local governments, and some local governments don't have the aptitude, or it's not they don't feel it's their priority to address the homelessness issue. So they're left with not enough resources, Madam Speaker. And you've got these people that are on the front line. Some of them are even traumatized by their own loss. And they're driven by trying to make sure that another family member doesn't get lost because of this. So, Madam Speaker, through you, I'm calling on the federal government to scale up their investments in housing, in non-market housing specifically. And this is critical to the mental health of all Canadians. Everybody deserves a right at a place to live in this country, Madam Speaker, and a safe, secure place to live. Thank you.